Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our practice. Immersing in these ancient codes of wisdom, bringing our unique matrix into the galactic matrix, resonating a high vibration in our beautiful uniqueness. So let's start in Vrksasana so that our spines can have some wall support as we enter and immerse. Crossing the right ankle in front of the left. Feeling the wall support the spine. Observing that tendency that many of us have to shorten the back neck by slightly lifting the chin here. So you'll feel the back skull pressing and you'll feel the big curve in the cervical spine. So lower the chin towards the throat. Feel that new length. The new placement in the middle of the back of the skull, and then turn the palms open to the sky, the eyes closing. Bringing attention to our breath. And in doing so, feeling it change shape and rhythm and tempo. Becoming longer and deeper. And richer in all ways. And now lifting the hands and folding the palms together in front of the heart center. And with the next exhalation, letting the brain relax so much that it begins to travel down the neck, through the throat, to take a new seat behind the sternum plate, behind the heart center. And then opening our practice with one more. Inhale. The hands coming down, the eyes opening, but the gaze staying diffused, not hardening so that the eyeballs are bulging forward, pacifying, receding backwards. And let's begin. Starting in Vrksasana, Savasana. Right ankle in front of the left. And exhaling forward. Lift the fingertips and broaden the palms and find the heel of the hands. Press into the heel of the hands to activate the arms. Feel the forearms lift, the elbows straighten. The shoulders broaden. And coming back up. Moving slowly, even if we feel in a hurry, honouring this turning inwards, this sensitivity, creating that exhaling forward Vrksasana. Finding the heel of the palm again to activate the full potential of the arms.
And also finding the heel of the palm to encourage the hips to move back.
And then coming back up and undoing, finding Vajrasana and taking a strap. Little loop in the strap like so. It's going to go over our wrists as we come forward for shoulder openers. So putting that in place, roll the front shoulders back, start the action of that. Widen the knees apart a little bit. And coming forward, forehead to the ground, the arms lifting, shoulder openers. Keep the fingertips vibrant and reaching up to the sky. And as we're opening our shoulders and our upper back, keep a careful eye on the jaw and the face, its tendency to take the tension from the effort of opening the shoulders. So keep lengthening the back of the neck, relaxing the jaw, the tongue, and making sure that you're not over-pressing into your foreheads. Now we're going to bring the arms to the right. So first we have to lift up and move our abdomens to the left, bring the arms to the right, and then the forehead back down to the mat. Now even out the pressure on your shins. Don't let the left shin be light. Press it down and find its purpose. Feel the front of your femur bones coming into the hip sockets. And the more evenly you can do that, more even your hips will be. Keep rolling the shoulders back. A few more breaths here. And then back up to the middle. And of course we're doing the other side. So we're lifting up. We're bringing our abdomen to the right. Arms to the left. And then forehead back down to the floor to the middle. Taking a few breaths to acclimatize to this side. Each side holding so many different things, especially if you have scoliosis. You're really going to be feeling differences, which I do. And now try to even out the pressure on the shins and to evenly draw the front femurs into the hips. Keep rolling those front shoulders back, bring the arms over more and more. And then bring the arms back up. And, oh, heavenly, coming down. Whew, we can take the strap off and sit back up and just absorb those openings. Vrksasana coming up next. So the strap can be used for our knees, and if you need to sit on any height, grab a block right now. Pulling the calves back and out. Taking our straps and just helping our knees to stay connected. And then bringing those feet in so that we're right as agonizingly as much as possible on the tops of the feet, pushing the outer edges of the feet down. As you push the outer edges of the feet down and you're really on the top of the dorsal foot, see if you can follow that line up the middle of the front shin on both shins. And then follow that line, wrapping her up both front thighs, and try to draw evenly and simultaneously both front femurs into the hip sockets. From there, lift the chest more and more. Bharadvajasanas, stretching the arms, interlock the fingers, turn the palms out and lifting up. Notice how you might have moved to favouring one foot and thus one leg and one buttock bone more than the other. Find that evenness from the base, starting with the dorsal feet, travelling up the front shins, and then up to both front thighs and drawing the front femur bones in, from which we lift more. And then coming back down, changing the interlock, turning the palms out, reconnect with that base of evenness and lift up. Draw the heads of both of the fronts of the femur bones in. They affect the placement of the pelvis. As you reach up, feel your buttock bones, your sit bones on the mat. Is one pressing more? Is one lifting up more? Try to even that out from the action of the front femur bones. And exhaling and release. So now we're inhabiting in a much more multi-dimensional level of intelligence, continuing with that, widening the knees apart. Yoga Vrksasana in Virasana. So the front femur bone here, action, really crucial, being drawn in evenly as possible. And when it's not even, just having the awareness to notice. Noticing more and more. That mindful intelligence.
Make sure that you're also using the heels of the hands to push the hips back, which gives a beautiful experience of length and purpose to the trunk coming forward. The contrast of those two actions, backwards and forwards. And then walking the hands back in, coming back up, and just easing the knees out, back, and the left one. Alright, we're now ready for our first Urdhva, and then we'll be coming up to some other fun little sequences. So starting with downward dog, heels against the wall. Now squeeze those knees straight, push the front thighs back continually. And be in connection with the front of your femur bones coming into the hips and how that action affects the hips. And now walking forward, feet the width of the mat. Uttanasana. Look at your feet. Adjust what needs to be adjusted for the uniqueness of your feet. What are your tendencies? Finding them out through observation and adjusting so that there's no dropping in the arches of the feet, so that the inner ankles aren't dropping either, they're lifting, so that the knees are firm and gripping and lifting up. And through that gripping and lifting upness, what do we find? The front femur bones lifting into the hip sockets and affecting the pelvis. So when we have scoliosis or imbalance of any kind, I mean it's not yet scoliosis, definitely one femur bone, one front femur bone will be lifting more and one will be dropping. So try to activate both simultaneously, exploring that. Keeping that even grippiness. Let's walk the hands to the right. Parshva Uttanasana. And now to the left. Grip both legs. See how when we twist to the left, it's so easy to let the right leg get light, to drop. Keep gripping. Both legs purposeful. And back to the middle. Re-grip. Keep gripping and stepping the feet together. Tadasana. Where have we gone to in our feet in Tadasana? Distribute that weight as evenly as possible through both feet. Grip the front femur bones up evenly. Broaden the side ribs, lift and open the chest. Feel that new stability. And releasing. Alright, using our wall. So if you were on a wall and then you moved away, come back to your wall. And we want to do standing Parighasana. So moving right in like this. Feet together. Palms together across the thumbs. Inhale the arms up. Don't let the lower back arch away from the wall. Keep the legs gripped, the pressure in the heels even. Inhale and exhaling to the right. Press the feet down, grip the thighs up. Keep that top shoulder blade pressing against the wall. And then back up. Reconnect with both of your feet and even grippingness in the front thighs. Lift up. And to the left. Grip both of the front thighs up. Turn and twist. Top shoulder blade to the wall. And then inhaling back up. And exhaling. Tadasana. Gomukhasana. So if your shoulders are tight, You might wish to take a strap. I'll use one too so you can see. Loop in the strap. We're going to step back to the wall once we're in our pose, okay? So from Tadasana, the left arm is extending to the side like this. The right arm is here, the loop is hanging down. Bend the arm, bring the hand in, see how I'm scooping the elbow in, ensuring it doesn't do this. And then bring the elbow up and move the hand to the middle. The loop is hanging down, waiting. And the left arm, and exhale. Find the strap, climb your way up until you reach the loop. And now walk backwards. Tadasana feet. And using the wall behind. And pressing those back ribs forward. Pressing the hands forward. Pressing the dorsal spine forward. So the ribs are broadening and the chest is lifting up. Don't overarch the lower back. Keep the sacrum moving towards the heels. The front thighs gripping. And then exhale. And releasing. Changing sides. Moving a little bit away from the wall. Preparing. And exhaling. We always have one side that's tighter than the, oops, where's my strap? Tighter than the other. And when we're feeling already walking back, feeling what the wall brings, bring the elbow tips back. I have this really annoying ridge here, which doesn't give me the ideal sensations. Now press the dorsal spine forward and feel the ribs broaden and lift the chest more and more. Keep the legs firm. Move the sacrum towards the heels. Re-lift. And then exhaling. And releasing. And coming out. Moving this to the side. Stepping a little bit away from our wall. And widening the feet, hip distance apart. Make sure the toes are slightly turned in. The heels are slightly turned out. Firm legs. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, reaching back. Fingertips to the wall, hands to the wall. Keep gripping the front femur bones up, pressing the middle buttocks forward. Push into the hands, activate the arms. Relax the face, and 2. And 1. Press into the feet, and lift back up. And exhale, releasing. Parighasana. Stepping back to our walls. Reach the arms up. Legs firm, heels pressing down. Inhale. And to the right. Do not let that top shoulder blade come away from the wall. Even if it means you can't go down as low. Firm the knees, firm the elbows. And then back up. And exhaling to the left. Top shoulder blade to the wall. And back up. Stepping away, widening the feet hip distance apart, turning the toes in, heels out, inhaling the arms up, legs firm, exhaling back, press the middle buttocks forward, find the wall, Grip the front thighs up. Try to find your shoulder blades and to press the shoulder blades up to the sky. And coming back up, lift the arms, be in the legs, the feet. Keep the lumbar firm. And exhaling down. And standing the feet together. Tadasana. Moving back to the wall for an Urdhva. Feet together, not touching the wall. Bend the knees and see if you need to move further away from the wall or closer to it, depending on where you are. Inner knees pressing against each other firmly. Lumbar to the wall. Lift the arms, palms together, cross one palm over the other, and reach up. Moving lower and lower and lower. Lumbar to the wall. Feel these front femur bones coming in simultaneously. And see how they affect the feeling of the lumbar against the wall. Now bolt the outer hips and lift those arms up. And 2. And 1. Coming back up. You can keep the arms lifted. Grip the legs again. Inhale. And exhale, descending Vrksasana. Using the wall to give sensation. And support to the back hips, the lumbar. Now feel the front femurs coming in, their usefulness. That's it, now bolt the outer hips in together. This prevents the lumbar from collapsing like this. Bolt and lift the pubic bone up. That's it. And 2. And 1. Coming back up. And bring the arms back down. And releasing to Tadasana. Vrksasana, thumb and index finger against the wall. Shoulders broad, entering. Even though your eyes can't see your arms, be constantly present in the way in which the upper arms must constantly roll away from each other. And see how that softens the back neck, it softens the brain, which we want. Firm knees. And now let's walk in and find Vrksasana with our backs against the wall. So the feet are now the width of the mat, so wider than our hips. And holding onto the elbows. Now re-grip the knees up, the quadriceps up. Feel the front femur bones coming into the hips. Feel their action on the back buttocks. See how those front femur bones coming into the hips are going to help lift the back buttocks to the sky. And releasing and immersion. Right, it's now time to get a chair and anything and a block. And if you're tall, then you'll need a blanket on your chair to just accommodate for your height. So getting all that stuff, meeting back on the mat. Here we are. Block is going to go between the knees. I am sitting so that the railing is on my right hand side, so that when I turn and twist, twisting to the right. Establish that presence in our feet, travelling up the legs, and feel the front femur bones coming in. From there, perpendicularize the pubic bone and get that lift. Turning and twisting. Keep the pubic bone perpendicular. Keep drawing both front femur bones in, feeling that action on the pelvis. Lifting the pubic bone and twisting. Unwinding, and to the other side. So I'll just move this so you can see on this side. Block helps to keep those inner knees ignited, helps to keep that even spaciousness, helps to keep the legs from self-adjusting. Preparing from the feet, up through the legs, the femurs coming in, the pubic bone perpendicularizing. Inhale and exhale, twisting. And releasing. Coming through our chair now, in backwards, for what I call diagonalized Bharadvajasanas. Our arm's going to go all the way around the corner to the other side, and it really helps open the shoulder blade area in our twist. So using the block, full presence in our feet. If your tendency is to collapse, lift. If your tendency is to go more on the outer edges, press on the inner edge. Adjust according to you. Femurs coming in. Widen the sit bones apart. Femurs coming in. Pubic bone perpendicular. And twisting. Travel back down to the feet. And explore the actions from inside. Adjusting as needed through the breath. And back through the middle. Did you feel how that gets this upper back area so much more? Let's do it on the left. Building the pose up from the base. Femurs in and coming in. Now through the breath, travel inside the body from the base, slowly upwards. Feeling the lines of energy, the inner shapes and forms of the asana revealing themselves. And back to the front. Integrate. And let's come out. We need a blanket for our next pose, Yoga Mudasana from the chair. So I'll turn it this way. And taking a blanket, we are going to create a little roll in the blanket. Sit right back on the seat. Put this little roll right at the base of the abdomen, and as you come forward, lift and scoop your belly up so that it goes over the roll. So make sure the roll isn't too big. And then coming down, first stage fingertips to the floor, and if you're able to, reaching for the back rung. The important thing for everyone, let the head hang completely. And we really need to send the exhale there a few times so that that invitation is fully accepted in the cervical spine and in the skull itself. Try to slow the breath down. To deepen it. What's happened to the front of your femur bones, to your feet? And then releasing the hands. Bring them to the floor. And pushing. And lifting up. Moving this blanket for a second. Feet together. And just bringing the arms back. A seated Tadasana. Heels firm. Feet even. Front thighs in. Pubic bone perpendicular, which ensures that we don't overarch that lower back. And the chair is helping us to really roll the front shoulders back. Now with the inhale, lift the side ribs. That's right. We're going to lift these ribs right here off the lungs. Practice that. And then releasing. Alright, coming out. Let's just move our chair away for a while and take a block, actually 2 blocks, and coming back to explore more specifically how the front femurs affect the hips, which in turn can affect unevenness, scoliosis in the back or not. Just learning to observe that action with sensitivity. So chairs out of the way, 2 blocks and a wall. Okay, we're going to put our blocks in, and our heels are going to be in front of our blocks, and we want our feet to be no smaller than our hips. So establish that through the placement of your blocks now. And then, come and stand with your heels against the blocks. So this is going to stop the feet from adjusting in little ways. They'll be blocked, which in turn is going to give us more access to really feel what's going on in our unique setup of femurs coming in, hips, and how that relates to evenness or unevenness in the spine. So we are moving backwards to find the wall. So the legs are diagonalized. And now really important, we want to lift the toes up. And this is going to help to pull our knees and our thighs up from this action. Lifting. That's it.
Keep pulling the knees and the front femurs in. With your hands, you can pull the buttocks wider apart and now feel each sit bone on the wall. And try to notice if one is higher than the other, if one is pressing more than the other, all the different myriad ways that it could be slightly different. And from that difference, the entire spine is affected. Fingertips down to the floor, stretch the spine down and forward. Keep lifting the toes up, gripping the knees, gripping the thighs. More and more firmly in, more and more succinctly. Observing their effect on the pelvis, and through that on the sit bones. And through that on the spine. And then looking up and coming back out. Keep the legs gripped. Okay, now we're going to turn around and do Uttanasana with our back against the wall, using the block to stop the feet from self-adjusting. So coming right in, I'm lifting my toes up, and then we're coming even more in, and we are bringing our spine to the wall. So yes, the legs are a little bit different. They might be a little bit diagonalized in some way. Keep lifting the toes and gripping the knees and thighs up. They're right in front of you. Watch the skin and the muscle move as you successfully grip those legs up. Feel the front femur bones coming in to the hip sockets. And the buttocks lifting from that action. Try to get the sacrum right here closer and closer to the wall. And try to move the shoulder blades down the wall towards the floor. Regrip the legs. Now feel through your shoulder blades on the wall the state of evenness in the upper back. So we're all a little bit uneven, right? And we have these practices to just let the body experience itself more, so that it can be placed for this period of time with a little bit more awareness, with practice, of course, will eventually enter into our daily postural holding patterns. But in order to learn, we have to feel more, we have to experiment and become sensitive. So being with all of those different nuanced actions. The back of the neck long. And then pushing ourselves gently out in order to come up. Hopefully you're feeling a real strength in your legs there. Okay, let's release some of that density with 4 handstands done quickly and sharply. So in order to bring lightness, not to create more density. Using the wall, starting from Tadasana rather than starting from palms on the mat. Inhale the arms up, trying to keep our knees straight, entering the first one.
back down, not holding anything. And back to Tadasana. Vrksasana. The other leg coming forward, entering the second one. Trying to keep those knees straight on the up and the down. Coming down. And moving back. Vrksasana. Third, right leg forward. In we go. Knees firm. And back down. Last and final one. Vrksasana. Left leg. Knees firm. Coming in. And down. And Tadasana. Lift the chest. Alright, Pincha Mayurasana. Same sharp, fast action. One block. One strap. Above the elbows. As we place the arms, first of all, turn the palms up to the sky. Move the knees back. And feel how when the palms are turned up to the sky, we're pressing naturally into the middle elbow. And this middle elbow helps us to access our upper back. So keep the pressure on the middle elbow and now turn the palms back in. And down to the mat. Don't let the weight come to the inner elbow. Keep it on the middle elbows. Then straightening the legs. Lift the shoulders, lift the lats. And we're doing 4 of these, sharp and fast. Here we go, first one. And back down. Legs firm, knees firm. And next one. And back down. Keep the knees straight, it's hard. And again. And back down. Last one coming up. Lift the shoulders again. Knees firm. And back down. And bending the knees. And coming out. Quick little Uttanasana. Right here, feet the width of the mat. Drop the head completely down. Hold on to the backs of the heels, pull yourselves closer. And now turning to the right. Having presence in both of the feet, both of the legs. And now to the left. And back to the middle. And back up. Time for our chair again. Time for back bends on the chair. Well, supported back bend. Viparita Dandasana, one of our favourites. So if you like to have your feet on some height, get some blocks, or you could also use 2 chairs and have your legs on 1 chair, which would reduce any sensitivity that you might have in your lower back, just by lifting the legs. So gathering everything you need, and let's come back to that. Notice we have no mat. The thinking behind that is that you want your chair to be able to slide. Having said that, I've noticed that a lot of the new yoga chairs have super grippy rubber things on their legs and you can't slide them, so it's a little frustrating. But mine does slide. It's an old handmade chair. We pulled the back out and then just wrapped tape around here, and I love it for that reason. If your chair doesn't slide, you have to find your distance first. Be sure of your distance. You won't be able to adjust once you're in the pose. I have a strap, and I want to say that if your tendency is towards needing neck support, then you will want to have a bolster with 1 or 2 blankets folded on top of it so that the crown of your head can be supported in this pose and you won't feel any pressure in your neck. I like to not have a bolster because my neck has become strong enough, so I'm not going to use one, but hit pause on me if you think you might need one. Okay, having said all of that, let's come in. And we have a strap, and we are putting the strap over the legs, making sure, important point today, to keep the buckle in the middle, and then thread the excess strap now through your chair, so that it's there waiting for you when the time comes. That's why you really want the buckle to be in the middle, because we're going to be at some point putting on this strap, and if your buckle is positioned to the side, it's going to be making everything uneven. Okay, we are coming in. Because we're all unique, we also all have to adjust uniquely for the chair. The important point is that this part of the chair was to press the middle and bottom shoulder blades forward and up. That means that some of us may have to sit more off the chair, some of us may be more on the chair. Important to find this point of opening. And now we straighten the legs. And if you're wanting head support and you're using it, you're pulling that in so that it's underneath your head and you feel good about it all. First part of the pose, the hands go inside the chair and reach for the front legs. Ujjayi, 1 breath, even, smooth, deep breath cycles. Now remember your Uttanasanas that we did with the blocks on the wall when we were lifting up the toes. So here, pull the toes back towards the hips, lifting up the toes, and engage the knees more deeply and the front femur bones. They're harder to reach in this pose. Spend a little bit of time exploring there. Keep trying to roll those front shoulders back and to spiral both of your upper arms in such a way that you feel the back armpits moving through the armpit to the front armpit. When you feel that, it means that your upper arms are successfully spiraling away from each other. And that in that action of the back armpit coming to the front armpit, the back ribs and the shoulder blades are being taught how to engage correctly, how to press in. Keep the front femurs firm, purposeful, and bolt the outer hips towards each other, like we did in our Vrksasana. And that bolting action keeps the lumbar from overarching, it keeps it firm and stable. Now we're going to change our arm action. So bringing the arms out of the chair, holding the railing, Adjusting anything that needs adjusting in the buttocks, the sacrum, the back body in general. Feel the front seat of the chair pressing into the same spots on the right and left upper back. And if they're not the same, adjust to get that sameness. Now bring the arms back behind you, palms facing each other, arms are parallel. Make your feet very active, your heels very firm. Pull your toes back. And then we're going to bend the arms and hold on to the elbows, the upper arms, like Parighasana. Watch the breath, settle back into deep, rhythmic, slow breath. Keeping the brain waves slow in this way. And diffuse the gaze. Turn the gaze inwards. Feeling the unique and beautiful topography of ourselves from inside. We're going to change the cross of the arms. So re-stretch the arms and then change the cross. Last variation, last side. For those of you who are starting to think, I want out, stay with this. Be with the breath. It helps us get through everything, one breath at a time. Keep pulling the toes back, drawing the femur bones into the hip sockets and bolting the outer hips for absolute firmness in the lumbar. Try to help the chair press your shoulder blades up to the sky as you pull the elbows back. Each inhale, a revelation of new spaces that are being experienced. And preparing to release the arms, re-stretch the arms. Okay, now our strap is right there, right? So go ahead and hold the strap with your hands. And you're going to bend your legs now. Feet parallel. In fact, turn the toes in and the heels out. And begin to walk your hands along the strap towards the chair. Don't let the elbows sway too widely. Lengthen the breath. Head back. Walk the hands a little closer. With your inhale, try to broaden the side ribs. Walk the hands a little closer. That's it, your maximum now. And then releasing. And bring the hands up to the railing of the chair. Bending the elbows so you feel the elbows ready to support and help you lift up. As you lift, engage the pelvic floor. Move the elbows back and lift the head up. And then the hands come down. And we're going to press into the hands in order to bring our buttocks back. Feet parallel, hands to the railings. And just resting here. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Let's move the strap off completely. And move back on our seats. Feet parallel, thighs parallel, buttocks and hips as even as possible, and remembering the perpendicularization of the pubic bone. Now holding that, we're going to turn to the right. First of all, just holding the back seat of the chair, not going further than that, and twisting gently. And then releasing, and the other side. Watching our feet, watching our legs, watching our pelvis area. And back to the middle. And now a little bit more, we're going to get that shoulder blade opening. Extend the arm, reach around, and then adjust again your feet, your legs, turning and twisting. Be stable in your buttock bones. Be firm in the lumbar. And back through the middle. And the other side. And around. Readjust your feet, your legs. Have that awareness in the pelvic area. And back out. Yoga Vrksasana on the chair. So coming out. If you can't reach the back rung of the chair, you can leave the strap there. Well, I'll leave it there and we'll show you. No blanket here on this one. Just bring the feet back, make sure that they're parallel. And as we come forward, connecting with the simultaneous action of the front femurs. Coming in
And reaching back, so here's the strap if you can't reach the chair. Otherwise, holding the legs of the chair and dropping the head right down. Ujjayi, one breath. And then release the hands and emerge. Almost there. One last little sequence of Supine Bharadvajasanas on our back with our feet against the wall and then Savasana. So let's move all of this out of the way, come back, one strap and on mats. Since we'll be going straight from this sequence into Savasana, if you're in a cold climate, you might want to have something to cover close by for your Savasana, and then making sure to have a blanket for the neck and head in Savasana. Our strap, we want to make the loop a little smaller, and coming into Supta Dandasana was our starting point. Supta Bharadvajasanas are like Trikonasanas, Parighasana, Trikonasanas, like standing poses. So starting with that awareness of the feet through which we travel up the legs, the femur bones, affecting the pelvis, and feeling the left back hip and the right back hip on the mat. Move them around so you can feel one lift, one lower, one lift, one lower, then try to even the mat. Keeping contact with that in our Supta Bharadvajasanas. So we are coming to lateral Supta Bharadvajasana first, bending the right knee, placing the strap on the arch of the foot, the right hand holds the strap, left arm extends, straighten the knees, and coming down, remembering that it's better to bring the foot higher up towards the shoulder than to be closer to the mat. So that means that this action is less beneficial than to be away from the floor but closer to the shoulder. Finding your maximum. Pulling the toes back. The front femur is coming into the hips. And now feel what's happening in your back hips on the mat. Try to connect the left back hip to the mat. See how it's getting light. Make that left leg firmer. And then try to move the skin of the right back hip towards the wall. Don't let it bunch up towards your head. Towards the wall, that's it. And again. And now feel new sensation in the back hips. Preparing to lift the leg back up. And Viparita Dandasana. So the left hand is going to hold the strap. Keep that left leg firm, straighten the knees. And bringing the leg down and across, similarly, better to be a little bit higher up towards the top of the trunk and the foot a little bit away from the floor than to feel satisfied by that. Now we have to let the right back hip lift up here. But we have our shoulder blades to give us an idea of constancy and evenness in the upper back.
or not. So legs firm. Generally a lot of sensation going on in the opening of the hips, breathing into that. And connecting with our shoulder blades. Noticing if one is higher than the other, which one, how do we adjust? Which will bring us more evenness and stability in the upper back. And then bringing the leg back up, and last, finishing off with Vrksasana 1. Both back hips are connected to the ground again. Pull the toes of your feet towards you, integrate the front femurs even more profoundly, and feel how that impacts the sensation of the left and right back hips on the mat. Even it out. Let that evenness travel up the spine, have its own beautiful ripple effect on the entire mind-body vehicle. And then bringing the leg back out. Vrksasana. Move the sacrum towards the heels. Just a few last little poses of concentration here. Feel the left back hip, the right back hip, how the thighs affect that. And now, bend the left knee. Strap on the arch. And straighten. Left hand is going to hold the strap. Right arm extended. Squeeze the knees even more. Pull the toes back. Lateral Supta Parighasana. No part of the legs are loosening as you come down. The muscles are gripping and firm in movement. Remembering to bring the foot higher up, so that the inner hips are really deeply being broadened in fresh ways. Once here, observe again the back hips and that lightness that comes to the right back hip. Energize the right leg, press the front of the right thigh down. There we go, feel more presence in the back hip again. Adjust, experiment, see how you can get more and more firmness in that right back hip, so it's not lifting up. Both femurs coming into the hip sockets, even though we're still lengthening out through the legs. Fold the outer hips towards each other. And we're preparing to lift the leg back up, keep everything firm. Be present in the back body. Preparing for Viparita. Right hand holds the strap. Re-straighten the knees, be firm in the right thigh, the right foot on the wall. And bring the leg towards you and across. Remembering that height, not letting the foot go too low down. Now we have to let the left back hip lift off. Keep the right heel firm. And feel now your shoulder blades. And through this new and intimate connection with our shoulder blades, start to explore how the middle and upper back may be uneven, distorted, and how we could create an experience of more evenness. And now lifting the leg back up. Last Vrksasana 1. Sliding the arms back. Both back hips feeling the mat. Both legs firm, knees straight. Femurs coming into the hip sockets. Feel also your shoulder blades adjust. And then gently releasing. And strap off and out of the way. Moving a little bit away from the wall. One last pose, long vertical stretch. Supta Savasana. The heels pressing down and hooking the buttocks towards them. Lift the arms up, cross the thumbs. Keep pulling the right buttock to the right heel, the left buttock to the left heel. Feel the experience of the back hips, the experience of the shoulder blades. Don't let the lower back arch up. If the buttocks are successfully being pulled towards the heels, the sacrum is being pulled towards the heels. And this should help you to flatten the lumbar towards the ground. And now bring the arms back up, change the cross of the thumbs. Last time, last side, more and more length. Through the heels, through the feet, pulling the toes back, through the legs, adjusting the pelvis, which in turn adjusts the spine. Now with the inhale, lift those side ribs off the lungs, stretch the arms. And then exhaling and releasing. And yes, it is now time for Savasana. So, blanket. Really important in our Savasana to keep with the action we've just established in long vertical stretch of the sacrum moving towards the heels. But now the thighs are rolling open, the inner knees are rolling open. The inner ankles are rolling open. And extend the arms diagonally away. And the shoulders are rolling open. Feeling our back body one last time, evening out anything which feels a little bit off. So that in our Savasana we can really at the same time allow our vehicles this experience of relaxed evenness so that it can better find that again when it needs to. And now the eyelids closing.
And with an exhalation, gently diving into the depths, the embrace of Savasana.
just gently lifting the hands and resting one hand on top of the other over the heart center, the sternum plate. Do these last few breath cycles, directing all of our energy, all of our breath, all of our feeling, everything to the heart center. Living, experiencing and having full, delicate presence directly and specifically here. And from that center, feeling ourselves to be part of a divine matrix, extending in all directions, through all layers of time, past, present, future, through all dimensions. And then pressing the palms together. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And hands releasing, rolling over to the right. And coming back out. Welcome back. Our practice is complete. And hoping that you feel that yoga state of mind, that yoga state of being, and that you spread that love and spread that peace and engage that mindful intelligence in beautiful ways. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Hope to see you again soon.